Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our What's on the Menu webinar. My name is Matthew Doherty, and I'm one of the Protection Sales Managers here at Royal London. And today, Shelley Reid, our Senior Intermediary and Development Manager, will be taking you through the support and ideas available to have compelling menu conversations with your clients. Now, what does menu mean? A menu plan provides you with the flexibility to offer a multi-benefit protection portfolio to your clients that can include up to 10 opportunities for claim and support when they might need it the most. Now, as a mutual organisation, we know the importance of providing best customer outcomes, and today we'll demonstrate how simple it can be to approach your recommendations in this multi-benefit manner. This can not only have huge benefits to your clients, but also to you and your business. So I would urge you that when you watch the webinar today, consider what's in it for my clients, but also consider how can this benefit me and my business. For example, could I use any of the tools that I see today to support my client conversations and showcase the real need for protection? Or how could this menu or multi-benefit approach increase my revenue, increase my average size, or win me new customers in 2022? Or better yet, how could it help me retain clients in 2022 and avoid the dreaded lapse rates? We'll hopefully be able to demonstrate this to you today and showcase where a lot of our advisors are really finding success already in this area. Not only will we focus on menu, but within this we'll be looking at the exciting enhancements to our Helping Hand wellbeing proposition. And I'm delighted to say that we've got our protection specialist and Helping Hand pioneer, Christina Rigby, on the call today to answer any questions that you may have. Here at Royal London, we not only want to be here for our customers at the moment of truth should a life event take place, but we also want to support our customers with everyday well-being and preventative support, starting from the moment that they leave your office or they hang up on that Zoom call. I'm really excited for you to see what I mean by this during the webinar today. And again, please do perhaps take note of 2 or 3 things that stand out to you or could potentially fit into your recommendation process when you're discussing Royal London protection to your clients. Just before we kick off, I just want to mention some quick housekeeping. The webinar will last approximately 1 hour, and your CPD certificates will be issued to you shortly afterwards. You can also ask any questions that you might have by typing into the chat box on the right-hand corner of the screen, and what we'll do is we'll try our best to answer these at the end of the call today. If for whatever reason we run out of time or we don't manage to get to all of your questions, then don't worry, your account manager or your business development manager will follow up with you to support you post-webinar should you require it. So that's it from me for an introduction, and now I'm delighted to pass over to Shelley to kickstart the presentation. Over to you, Shelley.
Thank you, Matt, and a warm welcome from me to today's webinar. As Matt said, I'm Shelley Reid, Senior Intermediary Development and Technical Manager. Yes, I agree, I have got the longest title in the industry, and I represent the protection side of our business at Royal London. It really is a great pleasure to talk to you today about what's on the menu as we discuss how our menu plan will allow you to cater for your clients' protection needs. And also, I'd like to remind you about the wide breadth of support available through our Helping Hand support service, including some recent exciting enhancements. So it wouldn't be a protection learning event without some learning objectives, and here are ours for this morning. So by the end of this session, you should have a much better understanding of the advantages of writing policies in a menu plan for both you, ladies and gents, as advisors and also your clients. To understand how to use a few of the Royal London advisor tools to help have compelling menu conversations. To be able to build a cost-effective menu-based solution to suit clients' needs and also their budget. And finally, be confident in explaining and discussing the wide range of services and support that's available through Helping Hand. And to help us achieve these objectives, we have a packed agenda that looks like this. In a couple of minutes, I'll ask you to listen to what we have labelled a dreaded call. This is an example of a telephone conversation between an advisor and their client. We'll then look at how the menu plan can help you grow your business, and we'll take a brief look at some tools which we're confident will help you to do this, including some recent enhancements to the Royal London menu calculator. I'll then show you an example of a menu plan in action for our case study family and how this will benefit them all as their life evolves. Followed by a look at opportunities to discuss menu with both new and existing clients. And finally, I'm delighted to share with you some enhancements to Royal London Helping Hand Support Service, which will help your clients become mentally, physically, and financially more resilient. So without further ado, let's get started. And as I mentioned a few minutes ago, I'm going to ask you to listen to a short telephone call between an advisor and an existing client whose family sadly are going through a really tough time. So please have a listen and see what you think.
Hello, ABC Mortgages.
Hello, it's Richard Jones here. Can I speak to Elizabeth, please?
Yes, just a moment, I'll put you through.
Hello, Liz speaking. How can I help you?
Oh, hi Liz, it's Richard Jones here. I don't know if you remember, but you arranged our mortgage a couple of years ago, and sadly my wife Jenny's been diagnosed with a really aggressive form of breast cancer. It's just been a terrible couple of months, and as you know, Jenny's the main wage earner in our family, and she's also self-employed, so I guess on top of everything, we're really worried about our finances. I've been onto the mortgage lender and they said come back to you to see if we can claim on our mortgage protection policy. I've got the policy in front of me and the premiums I think are up to date, but can you help us make a claim, please?
Oh, Richard, I'm so sorry to hear that. Please give my best wishes to Jenny. How are the children coping? They must be teenagers by now.
It's a terrible time for us all, really. We're trying to stay positive and just look after Jenny as she goes through her treatment, but the mortgage and bills are just a real worry.
I'm sure, Richard. Let me just get your policy details in front of me. Right, I've got them here now. Yes, I remember. We did have some struggles with getting your mortgage through since Jenny had not long been self-employed. And if you recall, we did discuss protection policies, but as the mortgage was higher than you thought, if you remember, you decided to just take out basic life cover. So I am really sorry, Richard, but it won't be possible to make a claim for Jenny being ill.
Are you sure, Liz? I know a colleague I work with, his wife has just been through something similar and they got a lump sum and some money each month to help them.
I'm sorry, Richard. It sounds as if your friend had a policy which pays out on diagnosis of a critical illness such as breast cancer, and possibly an income protection policy that pays out a regular monthly income if you're off work sick. But I'm afraid you haven't got that type of policy. I am really sorry.
Not as sorry as we are, Liz. We haven't got the cover and it would have taken a great weight off our shoulders, and all this stress is just not going to help with Jen's recovery. Why haven't we got that cover?
Well, I can see here we did discuss various options. I've even got copies of the quotes. But if you remember, you didn't want to spend any more money each month with all your moving expenses.
I don't remember that, Liz, and those expenses were all just short term. I'm sure if we'd realised the importance or even the position we'd be in if one of us did lose our income, then we would have found some budget to cover that. We're in a real mess now, Liz, and I just don't know how we're going to cope. I don't know how I'm going to tell Jen.
I am really, really sorry, Richard, but there's nothing more I can do now to replace Jenny's income.
No, but we really should have done something 2 years ago. We wouldn't be in this situation now. I'm going to have to take some form of advice, Liz, and I don't think we'll be able to afford the policy we have either at the moment. I'll be back in touch at some point soon.
So I think you'll agree, not a pleasant call to receive at all. And what I'd like you to consider before we move on is how would you feel if you were this advisor? Probably a bit uncomfortable, maybe awful for the client. Perhaps you're asking yourself if you could have done more. Did you make those risks and ramifications clear enough to the client? And could this happen to you? Do you have clients who potentially could be in the exact same position as Richard and Jenny? And what would the outcome be? Well, we heard Richard saying he was going to seek advice, and we're all very aware of the extremely litigious state we live in. So what steps could we take to avoid this happening? Well, at Royal London, we want to help you grow your business and have compelling menu conversations. We want to help you explain to your clients the need to build a protection portfolio to include such covers as critical illness, income protection, and perhaps even family income benefit. So to start, let's remind ourselves exactly what is a menu plan and how does it work. Well, a menu plan will allow you to mix and match a wide range of covers and also benefits. Each can have a different life assured, a different sum assured, and a different term. This will help you tailor the cover to suit not only your client's needs, but importantly, their budget. And for you, the advisor, this means one application and one set of underwriting to manage. And for the client, one plan fee and one direct debit each month. So what exactly can we mix and match? Well, a wide range of covers and features. Cover-wise, you can build in up to 10 different covers in one menu plan. And these include such covers as life cover, critical illness cover, and that can be on a standalone or life or earlier critical illness basis. And remember, when choosing critical illness, you'll have a choice of choosing different variations of children's critical illness cover. We can also include income protection and family income benefit. And as I said, each of these can be set up for different terms, different lives, and different amounts. But also you can choose if each cover is decreasing, level, or indexed. And most importantly, each menu plan is completely flexible as your client's career, family, budget, and lifestyle evolve. This means that each cover can be reduced, removed, or increased, and new covers can be added under the same menu plan, but remember, up to a maximum of 10 covers. So we've looked at advantages for the client. What does a menu plan mean for you, ladies and gents, as advisors? Well, let's look at some ways in which we and our menu plan can help you develop and grow your business. We've called this the 4 R's, and let's look at each of them in turn. So first of all, risk management. I personally think the menu plan makes it easy to recommend protection solutions to suit your client's needs and also budget. And you can be sure that whatever happens to your clients in the future, be it moving to a bigger house, changing mortgage provider, getting married, or even divorced, you can be confident that their protection plan can change with them, so they always have the right amount of cover to suit their circumstances. And revenue. Using the menu approach to protection enables you to offer more solutions to more of your clients, generating more income for your business. And also remember, our dedicated account managers and business protection experts can help you to explore new markets and opportunities such as business protection or even inheritance tax planning. And retention, we all appreciate, I think, that life doesn't normally stay the same. So remember, our menu plan is designed to be flexible, to change and adapt as your client's career, lifestyle, housing, and family evolve. And a bespoke menu plan, they're often difficult to copy, which reduces the risk of cancellations and retains your clients for longer. And finally, reputation. I think by recommending a menu plan, you're creating a bespoke protection portfolio for your clients that balances risk and affordability. We think this demonstrates the quality of your advice and therefore helps build reputation amongst your client base. We'll see in a moment that a menu plan solution for your clients provides multiple claim opportunities. So if the worst should happen, your client has a solution that can protect them across the board. This must help to build your reputation. And finally, added value support such as Helping Hand, which we'll have a closer look at in a moment, provides emotional and practical support when your client needs it most. So I suggested when we looked at the agenda a little while ago that I would show you some tools available on our advisor website that will particularly help you start the menu conversation. So I think possibly the easiest way to do this is to give examples using our case study family. So let's meet Richard and Jenny. Now they're both age 35 next birthday, they're non-smokers and they have 2 small children aged 2 and 4. They've just moved home and you've mortgaged their property with £150,000 mortgage over a 23-year term. Jenny's an office manager for a bank and earns £40,000, and Richard is an account manager for a marketing firm and earns £30,000 per year. Both Richard and Jenny have employer sick pay benefits of 6 months full pay, then 6 months half pay. And their expected retirement age for use today is age 67. So the first thing I want to show you is our very powerful risk reports. This demonstrates the chance and probability of a client having to make a claim on a protection policy. So on our advisor site, and I'll confirm the address for you in a moment, let's choose protection, then tools, and then marketing studio. So here is our advisor web address at the top of the screen, studio.royallondon.com, and this will take you straight to the marketing studio where there's really a whole host of sales aids and bespoke reports to encourage better protection conversations. What you can see here on the screen now is an example of our one-page risk report, one for Jenny on the left and one for Richard on the right. I appreciate the text is quite small, but very simply, these risk reports show how each client, the chance and probability in percentages of the risk of dying, that small triangle in grey at the top of the pyramid, being diagnosed with a critical illness, the orange segment, or having to take 2 months or more off work sick, the purple triangle segment at the end of the pyramid. I really think this will open clients' eyes to the risks they face and realise that it's probably not all just about sudden death. If you're not familiar with the Royal London Marketing Studio, I'd urge you to take a look after this webinar to appreciate the wide selection of marketing materials to help you make the case for protection. I really think it can help boost your business by providing content such as sales aids and the risk report we've just seen to support client conversations and also help overcome objections. And so you can make this material as tailored to your business as possible. The Marketing Studio allows you to brand everything with your own company logo and contact details. To find out more about this, there is a short video on the advisor website called Marketing Made Refreshingly Simple, or of course, contact your usual Royal London sales contact BDM. But from someone who is not great at IT, I can promise you it's really easy to register and upload your logo and contact details. Remember, you only have to do this once, and then everything you prepare will be white labelled from your company and from you as the advisor. So that was the one-page risk report I've just shown you, but you will also find available a more in-depth critical illness and income protection report. These reports will help you explain why income protection and critical illness cover are often even more important than life insurance for your clients. Again, you merely need to enter a few details about your clients and you can generate a tailored PDF report full of bespoke, compelling conversations and personalised statistics. So please take a look. I really think our Marketing Studio will help you convert even more protection sales. So let's now head back to the tools page and this time choose the lifestyle calculator. This calculator looks to demonstrate to your client that by cutting back on a few of life's little luxuries, they can easily find the budget for protection. So you can see here a list of things that people, myself included, buy almost without thinking. Each costs relatively little, but this calculator shows that they soon add up. So you can see those list of things on the left-hand side. The calculator allows you to pick how many times a week you might indulge in one of those little luxuries. And then on the right-hand side, the cost per unit, which you can also change. Now you can see here, I've set this up to represent me, and maybe in a normal working week, in a normal environment, I might have 3 takeaway coffees. I might have a couple of snacks or soft drinks when I'm traveling around the country with this job. And then finally on a Friday, I might have a takeaway meal when I eventually get home and I can't be bothered to cook and no one else in our house can. And then over that weekend, I might have 3 glasses of wine. What you need to do then is press calculate, which I'm showing you there, and then at the end you will see that that adds up to quite a staggering £240.93 per month. Now I was really shocked at that. I'd ask you to run one of these on your own weekly expenditure, and I think you'll be quite surprised too. So if I'm quite surprised and you will be, then I'm sure your clients will be too. Now, the idea is, I'm hardly living the dream there, am I? But if I reduce some of those, the idea is that it will provide some budget for me to look at protection. So let's reduce those takeaway coffees down to 2. Let's also reduce those snacks or soft drinks down, and also let's reduce those glasses of wine to just 2. So I think you'll agree I've not really spoilt my life there, but if we press calculate again, you'll see that I've reduced that monthly expenditure down quite significantly. And immediately I've got a monthly saving of almost £40 that you as the advisor might be able to talk to your client about using for some protection. So again, I'd urge you to have a look at that lifestyle calculator after today's webinar. So the final tool I want to show you is the value of menu tool. Now that we've shown a client the risks they face and shown them how to find some budget, this menu tool will show clients how a menu plan can be tailored to their needs and budget, as well as offering many more opportunities to claim. Again, we just need to know a little bit about the client. We also need to know about the cover they're considering applying for. Plus, you have an option to include your client's remaining mortgage term and outstanding balance to make it even more real and bespoke. And then press next to show the difference between a traditional approach and a flexible menu plan. You'll be presented with 2 results here, a traditional protection solution and a menu solution. The traditional approach may be to suggest decreasing life or critical illness. This, however, whilst valuable cover compared to a menu solution, offers cover for a smaller number of life events, resulting in a decreased chance of claim. So a menu plan combining several different covers for more life events may be a really valuable solution, increasing the likelihood of a claim over the term of the plan. And by clicking on See Cover Details, you'll find more in-depth information about what each cover includes. And finally, as you can see here on this next screen, it will show you those 3 examples demonstrating how you can build a menu plan, mixing and matching different cover types, different sum assured, different terms, and different features on each cover to suit your client's needs and, most importantly, budget. And from here, just click on the Go to Quote and Apply button in orange to start building a real menu plan for your clients. So now let's look at bringing this all together in a case study example. I'm not the advisor on the call this morning, you ladies and gents are, so I'd be interested in the chat box to see what you think about this solution. So let's just remind ourselves about our case study family. If you recall from earlier, Jenny and Richard, all the details are exactly the same, but now after discussion and preparing a risk report for each of them, they've decided on a budget of between £60 and £70 for their protection plan. So let's first of all consider a traditional approach. So it may well be that we might set up a life-only joint life first event cover for 150,000. This is decreasing term with mortgage guarantee over the 23-year term of their mortgage, and no surprises. That's going to come out pretty cost efficiently at £9.62. And that includes a £2.60 plan fee. Or alternatively, we might consider setting up a life or earlier critical illness on a joint life first event. We have the option to include different children's critical illness, and we've chosen enhanced children's CI. Again, for the same amount, 150,000 over a 23-year term. And no surprises, that's going to be significantly higher at £79.38. So already over their planned or intended budget. But what I'd like you to consider, would that be the best solution for them? Well, if we just have a quick look at this table, even if we fill in this table with the approach that includes life or earlier critical illness, and remember, this was almost £10 over their budget, it leaves us with many more crosses than ticks. This approach will only repay debts on premature death or critical illness. It provides no cover for sickness or incapacity, and it also makes no provision for protecting their family's lifestyle. So maybe not the best outcome or the best way to spend their intended monthly budget. So let's now have a look at building a Royal London menu plan. We might start again with a life-only decreasing term joint life first event for 150,000 over 23 years with mortgage guarantee to cover their mortgage. And that premium without the plan charge comes out at £7.02. What we might do now is set up so that we've got some critical illness cover, a life or earlier CI policy, one for Jenny and one for Richard within our menu plan. We're included enhanced children's critical illness on both. We've matched the term of the mortgage at 23 years, but this time we've got a smaller amount, which will still give them some choices on event of claim, 50,000 for Jenny and 40,000 for Richard. And you can see the premiums coming in there, £19.07 for Jenny and £15.16 for Richard. What I'd like to include then is some family income benefit. Again, family income benefit, one of my favourite protection products. And again, if you're unfamiliar, I'd urge you to have a further look after today's webinar. But as this suggests, this is providing an income on premature death for Jenny. We're providing £1,000 a month, and because it's an income-based plan, I always think it's a really good idea to index those benefits. So we've done that at 5%, and we've opted for a different term for this element of cover for 15 years, which might just coincide with their youngest child being allegedly financially independent. So the only other options may be to consider, and that comes in at a very cost efficient, just under £4 per month. So the other options to consider are maybe some income protection to cover them if they need to take some time off work through illness, sickness or injury. So we've set one up for Jenny and one for Richard. We've done them both for £15,000 per annum. And again, because it's an income-based plan, we've decided to index that at RPI this term. We've set up a 26-week deferred period over their remaining working life term. So that's 34 years. And for budget, we've set that up as a 2-year payment period. So in event of claim, these benefits will pay for 2 years. And you can see that comes out at £9.82 and also waiver of premium at just 12p. So once we add the one plan fee, remember on this menu plan there'll be just one £2.60 plan fee, you can see that comes in just inside their desired budget of £67.71. Remember, there'll be one quote and one application and one set of underwriting for you advisors to manage, and for the client, one plan fee and one direct debit. Now, if we look at our chart again with our menu solution, you can see that we can now not only repay debts on premature death or critical illness diagnosis, but we can now protect lifestyle on both these life events. But also if Richard or Jenny had to take some time off work sick. I think, and I hope you'll agree, a much better outcome for the client. And while I'm just mentioning this, let's take a quick look at these two journeys, the traditional route and the menu solution, through the eyes of our case study family. So let's first have a look at the traditional approach, where Richard and Jenny have a life or earlier critical illness policy, including enhanced children's critical illness on a joint life first event basis. So remember, helping hand support is available from the day the policy starts, including wellbeing support to help maintain a healthy lifestyle. And we'll revisit this in more detail in a moment. Now, sadly, Richard and Jenny's youngest child is diagnosed with a serious illness, which results in a child's critical illness payout and, of course, helping hand support for the whole family. Again, sadly, a few years later, Jenny is diagnosed with very aggressive breast cancer, which results in her being hospitalised for 6 weeks. Jenny's critical illness policy pays out a lump sum, and of course, helping hand support is available to all of them. But bear in mind at this point, the policy is paid out and is no longer in force. Some 5 years later, Richard breaks his arm in a car accident. And tragically, shortly after that, Jenny's cancer returns, and sadly, she passes away. And under the anxiety and stress and upset of bereavement and coping with not just only his own grief, but also the children's, Richard has to take some time off work. So you can see here, there's been 2 payouts, one for children's critical illness and one for Jenny's critical illness diagnosis, along with the helping hand support throughout the life of the policy. So let's look now at exactly the same life events for our family, but this time with the menu plan solution we built earlier. Remember, Richard and Jenny have a joint life first event life only policy, 2 life and critical illness policies, 1 each, a family income benefit policy in Jenny's name, and an income protection policy for each of them. So once again, immediately the policy goes on risk, Richard and Jenny have access to helping hand support. And again, we'll have a closer look at this in a few minutes. And again, sadly, when Richard and Jenny's youngest son is diagnosed with a serious illness, then again, this triggers a children's critical illness payout and, of course, that helping hand support. And when Jenny is diagnosed with a critical illness a few years later, this time we have not only a critical illness payout, but Jenny's also able to claim on her income protection policy, which includes a hospitalisation payout for the night she spent in hospital for treatment and her post-op recovery. And Jenny's Red Heart nurse was always there with advice and support, or even to arrange a second medical opinion had this been relevant via helping hand. And later, when Richard needed to take time off work due to a badly fractured arm, his income protection policy kicked in, along with a one-off fracture payment cover. and his Red Arc nurse was also available to advise him about recovery and arrange physio to help with his recovery. And sadly, when Jenny passed away, her original life policy paid out a lump sum, and her family income benefit policy paid out a regular monthly income, plus a small lump sum from her income protection policy. And again, when Richard needed to take time off work through anxiety, his income protection policy started paying, plus invaluable mental health support and advice from his Red Arc specialist nurse. So you can see here with our menu plan, there's been actually 9 financial payouts versus, if you recall, just 2 on the traditional approach. So I mentioned earlier that I'm pretty confident that most of you will have existing clients who could definitely benefit from a menu plan protection conversation review. I'd like to take just a few minutes to segment these clients, existing and new, to consider why a menu plan would particularly benefit them. So first of all, clients with life cover only. These clients have no protection in place at all if they fall sick, whether that's seriously ill or just needing to take some time off work. And if we cast our minds back to our dreaded call a little while ago, then we can see what a terrible impact this could really have on a client and their family. So self-employed clients, remember these clients have no employee benefits and could be forced to rely on state benefits or savings if they got sick. I'll just mention now that there's a really useful calculator on our advisor website which demonstrates on their earnings how much as an employed person they would have been paying in national insurance. So this could be a good starting point, coupled with a risk report for a discussion leading to critical illness and or income protection. Now, families, for any of us on the call this morning who are parents, the last thing you want when dealing with sickness or loss of a loved one is extra financial stress. That's why I really think it's so important to talk to families about not only protecting their mortgage, but also having sufficient protection to ensure they can cover their household bills and to some extent maintain their lifestyle. And I guess just generally keeping everything as stable and normal as possible for their children and any dependents. Now, divorced clients, they may suddenly find themselves with just their income and no longer having their ex-partner's salary to rely on if they got sick. Now, these clients, I think, would definitely benefit from a risk report and a conversation about income protection and critical illness. And remember, family income benefit works really well here to protect maintenance payments in a divorce settlement situation. Now, clients with children in private education, those parents who choose to educate their children privately could certainly benefit from a menu conversation. I suspect many have not even thought about how they would maintain those school fees if one of or both of their incomes were lost. A family income benefit works perfectly to provide income to maintain those school fees on premature death or critical illness. And income protection cover added to a menu plan could also certainly look to replace lost income and again maintain those education commitments should a parent have to take time off work through sickness. Private renters. Now, those clients who are renting admittedly don't have a large lump sum to protect, but they still certainly have a monthly rental commitment plus household bills, and a menu plan works really well in providing a replacement income on death, serious illness, or being off work sick. So maybe consider a conversation around family income benefit and income protection for your clients and grown-up clients and grown-up children, of existing clients who are currently sitting in the rental sector. And landlords, I think landlords can also benefit from a menu plan by setting up separate covers for each property in their portfolio, all under one menu plan. And clients with no employee benefits at all, are they aware of the level of state support if they're off work sick? I'd be surprised if they do. Talking to these clients about adding some critical illness and especially some income protection to their mortgage protection policy, again, could be really beneficial, all within one menu plan. Now, clients needing flexibility, those clients who are maybe just starting their career, maybe buying their first home, they could be renting with aspirations to buy. They're all a perfect fit for flexible menu plans that can change as their career, housing and family evolve. And finally, inheritance tax planning. I understand this won't be relevant to everyone on the call this morning, but for those wealth advisors, is protection to cover an IHT tax charge something that you discuss or even consider? So as we approach the end of today's webinar, let's move away from the menu plan specifically and let's look at Helping Hand. Now, I'm sure you've all pretty much heard me talk about Helping Hand in the past, but just a quick reminder of exactly what is Helping Hand and what does it offer our customers. Well, as the title says, at Royal London and historically bright grey, we've always believed that good protection is about more than money. And that's why all our plans sold through a financial advisor come with Helping Hand support services. Remember, it's available from the day the plan starts, and it will give clients access to services through the life of the plan and not just at claim. And most importantly, it doesn't cost them anything extra to use. And remember, if clients use Helping Hand or find that their health improves, then this could have a positive impact on their monthly premiums when you review their policy needs in the future. So if the plan owner or their partner or children are going through a difficult time, such as serious illness, mental health issues, injury or bereavement, Helping Hand will be there to offer support to them. So our existing Helping Hand for recovery support remains unchanged, but we've enhanced our Helping Hand offering by adding new online wellbeing services to help plan owners reach their health goals and help stop small health issues becoming big problems. These wellbeing services are available now to all new customers who take out an advised protection plan with Royal London, and they'll be available to existing customers soon too. And for those clients with a business protection plan, on top of the support I've just mentioned, there's extra support for your business owner clients too, such as an independent legal helpline to give advice on all aspects of employment law, and access to a recruitment specialist to help keep businesses running if a key employee is ill, can't work, or sadly dies prematurely. So let's now look at the enhancements to Helping Hand for wellbeing. As soon as the new plan goes on risk, your client will be invited to complete a brief digital health questionnaire created by our wellbeing partner, LiveSmart. LiveSmart really are the glue that connects all our wellbeing partners, and I'll run through those in just a moment. It's created by NHS doctors and dietitians, and LiveSmart's hyper-personalised recommendation engine analyses each customer's lifestyle, nutrition, sleep, exercise, musculoskeletal and mental health data to give customers a real personalised health report containing a unique picture of their own health. Knowing what steps to take first can be tricky. LiveSmart's personalised digital health report contains clear recommendations and educational information that empowers customers to take small steps that really will add up to make a big difference. Their engine also helps to simplify and improve health navigation. For example, what should I do next? by signposting and providing slick and easy access to our other wellbeing partners via their to-do page. The order in which our other wellbeing partners appear on a customer's to-do page is based on their answers, with their key area of focus being top of the list. So as I promised, let me tell you a little bit more about our wellbeing partners. So Health Hero, 24/7 access to GP consultations by experienced NHS practicing doctors. Thrive Mental Wellbeing. This is an NHS approved app to improve your mental wellbeing. You'll receive personalised recommendations to help prevent, detect and manage mental health conditions. PAI, Personal Activity Intelligence. You can use this app to get your heart health score and link up your wearable devices, Fitbit, Apple Watch or Amazon Fit, for example, to measure the impact of physical activity on your heart. And finally, Track Active Me. This app was created by physiotherapists and will help access and assess musculoskeletal problems such as muscle, joint or spinal pain, and also give physiotherapy advice and personalised exercises. And remember, the recovery side of Helping Hand remains unchanged, and it will continue to provide our customers who experience serious illness, injury, mental health challenges or bereavement the additional support they may need. Either from the day the plan starts, customers can call us direct on the number you can see on the screen, or when they're making a claim, our claims team will mention the support available, or it's possible via a pathway from our wellbeing services. And remember, for your business owner clients, those with a Royal London Business Menu plan, and that includes relevant life policy, they have access to those additional services such as a recruitment specialist and independent legal advice. So in the final few minutes of our webinar this morning, I'd like you to listen to another call. It's exactly the same scenario as earlier for Richard and Jenny, but showing how a Royal London menu plan could give a much better outcome. And whilst listening, please have a think about putting into action what we've covered today. And hopefully, are you now more confident positioning a menu solution and the added value support services with clients? So would our dreaded call be different now? Please have a listen and see what you think.
Hello, ABC Mortgages.
Oh, hello, it's Richard Jones here. Can I speak to Elizabeth, please?
Yes, just a moment, I'll put you through.
Hello, Liz speaking. How can I help you?
Hi Liz, it's Richard Jones here. I don't know if you remember, but you arranged our mortgage a couple of years ago. Sadly, my wife Jenny's been diagnosed with a really aggressive form of breast cancer. It's just been an absolutely terrible couple of months, and I don't know if you remember, but Jenny is the main wage earner in her family, and she's also self-employed. So on top of everything, we're really worried about her finances. I was speaking to our mortgage lender and they said come back to you to see if we can claim on our mortgage protection policy. I've got all the policy documents in front of me and I think the premiums are all up to date, but I was wondering if you could help us make a claim, please.
Oh, Richard, I'm so sorry to hear that. Please give my best wishes to Jenny. And how are the children coping? Well, they must be teenagers now.
Yeah, well, it's just been a terrible time for all the family. We're really trying to stay positive and just look after Jenny as she goes through her treatment, but the mortgage and bills are just such a real worry.
I'm sure, Richard. Let me just get your policy details in front of me. Right. Yep, I've got them here now. Well, the good news is your protection policy included several different covers. Jenny has got critical illness cover for £100,000 and she's also got some income protection which will pay out, let me look, £1,500 per month on top of that lump sum. So yep, I can help you make 2 claims.
Really? 2 claims? Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. Of course, we'll need to put a claim into Royal London, but that's exactly why we set the policy up, to make sure, should the worst happen, you and Jenny didn't need to worry about money.
Oh, Liz, that's fantastic news. I really can't wait to tell Jen. She'll be so relieved.
And remember, Richard, your policy comes with a variety of tailored and personal support. So if there's anything else you can think of that you or the family need, then there may be some extra help available from Helping Hand support that came with your policy.
Oh, well, I guess it's really helped for Jenny more than anything. I guess understanding what will happen during her treatment and maybe what she can expect. And actually, the children might benefit from some support too. Our son particularly is really struggling to cope with Jen's diagnosis.
Well, that's completely understandable. Let me speak to Royal London to ask them to organise a referral to Red Arc nurses who manage the Helping Hand on their behalf. And how about you, Richard? Is there support we can find out about for you personally?
Yeah, I guess as you can imagine, Liz, I'm under so much stress trying to cope and just look after everybody. Some days I'm really struggling, and I'm actually finding it almost impossible to get to see my GP.
I'm not sure if you remember, Richard, but when we set up your policy, there was extra support via a range of specially chosen apps and also an online 24/7 access to GP services. I can remember you registering, so just check your emails from Live Smart and you should easily be able to make full use of those wellbeing services.
Ah, well, that's fantastic, Liz. Thank you so much, and I'll keep you posted on how Jen's doing. But again, thank you so much for setting all of this up. It's really going to make the world of difference.
So I think you'll agree, a much happier client and a much better outcome for both the client, their family, and also you as the advisor. So let's just revisit our learning objectives we set earlier. I'm confident that you should now have a better understanding of the advantages of writing policies in menu plan for both you as advisors and your clients, that you can now understand how to use some of the Royal London advisor tools to have those compelling menu conversations, be able to build a cost-effective menu-based solution to suit not only your clients' needs, but also their budget, and be confident in explaining the wide range of services available through Helping Hand. So I hope that I've encouraged you to challenge the traditional protection model whilst obviously striking a balance between affordability and risk. And I hope I've given you some hints, tips and tools to have those compelling protection conversations and ensure our clients get the protection solution that they really need. So that brings me to the end of my presentation this morning. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen, and I'll hand back now to Matt to look at any questions that you might have sent in.
Excellent. Thank you, Shelley. A really, really good presentation there with some excellent content shared. So thank you very much for that. I think just quickly, the key thing that stood out for me is how high the percentage chance of claim is when you look at a menu and a multi-benefit is recommended. I think if you consider that in investment terms, the question I suppose you'd ask yourself is, would your clients prefer to invest their premiums into a protection plan that has 40% chance of being there to pay out? Or would they rather invest that same premium into a plan that has an 83% chance of paying out when they need it the most? And I think the great thing that you've demonstrated is that it can easily be tailored to a client's budget and is often actually cheaper than the traditional life and critical illness plan. So excellent. So I can see that there has been a few questions coming in through the chat box throughout the webinar, which is fantastic. Thanks for sending those in. I think we've got a little bit of time just to cover maybe 3 or 4 questions. And I'd like to now bring in our protection and helping hand expert, Christina, to answer some of these, if that's okay with you, Christina.
It is indeed, Matt. Hello.
Excellent. Hello. Thanks for joining us. So the first question I can see that has come in on Helping Hand is, how much does Helping Hand cost, and will my clients have to pay for the virtual GP service, aka Health Heroes?
So all of these good benefits that Shelley's just outlined a little earlier on are all included in the cost of the protection. There are no extra costs for any of these services. So in effect, they are free to the customer. That also, as I say, includes the GP consultations that we offer. There is no additional cost for any of these services, including the GP service.
Brilliant. Good stuff. Thank you. The next question for you, Christina, on Helping Hand is, and I think you may have just covered it, but does it come included with all of Rural London's products?
It does, yes. It's available to, all of these services are available to intermediated protection customers. So that includes personal menu, business protection. They're all entitled to these benefits.
Excellent. I think that's a key point, the fact that it's only available through an intermediated channel. I think Shelley was mentioning throughout her presentation about a way to really differentiate your advice and make it hard to copy. I think if your client is tempted to maybe just go online and see if they can get the same type of plan but at a cheaper premium, I think this is where your advice can stand out with Helping Hand for sure. Excellent. The next question I've got for you, Christina, is how do my clients access these services should they need to?
Okay, so what actually will happen is for all plans, as Shelley said, that start after the 1st of January, 30 days later, they'll be sent an invitation via an email. So the customer will receive that directly, and all they have to do is there's a link in the email. They click on the link and that will take them off to a landing page which will explain more about the process. So what it will help them to understand is that they will need to go through a short health assessment from a company, one of our partners called Live Smart. And at the end of the health assessment, they'll receive a very personalised and detailed health report, which will give them hints, tips, advice and recommendation on the next or good things to do, next steps to do to improve the areas of their health where maybe they're needing to spend a little bit more time or pay a little bit more attention. In addition to that, once the report is generated, the customers will also have access to a thing called a to-do page, and it's at the top right-hand side of their dashboard. Their health dashboard is to-do page. And when they go into that to-do page, there are links in there to all of our other partners. So all the partners Shelley talked about there. So that's our GPs, our Thrive, Track Active, Pi, all of these, access to all of the other partners is contained within the to-do page on their health dashboard.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Christina. I can see that there's another couple of questions that have come in, but perhaps more linked to menu. So I'll try and cover these. So the next question that I can see is fracture cover was mentioned as part of your income protection plan, and I have clients that could benefit from this. How much does this cost to add on? So I think first thing, good news that you're already starting to think about clients that could potentially benefit from our proposition. That's always a good thing to hear and to get feedback on. Another, I suppose, good point is that similar to Helping Hand, fracture cover is actually included as standard within our income protection plan at no extra cost. It's also worth mentioning that hospitalisation benefit is also included within IP as standard too. So there isn't any additional premiums that your client will have to pay to get access to those benefits within our menu plan. So hopefully that's kind of music to your ears. And feel free to shout if you want us to run through what that can look like for these clients. We'd be more than happy to showcase how Rural London might be the best fit in terms of your recommendation. And the final question just before we wrap it up is, where can I find the menu tool? Again, another good question. And the menu tool is obviously something that we're really excited about, and it's very popular with our advisors. However, as Shelley, I suppose, touched on in her presentation, it's just one of many fantastic tools and sales aids that we offer to our advisors just to support you and I suppose make your jobs as easy as possible. And these can all be found on our advisor website. Again, if you've never been on there before, it's advisor.rurallondon.com, and then you can follow the links to protection and have a look at all of our tools that could potentially come in handy. So that brings us to the end of the session today, everyone. If you have submitted a question that we haven't got to, please don't worry. One of your account managers or your business development managers will be in touch to support you with these post-webinar. We'll also be sending out a survey after this webinar, and we would really appreciate your feedback, as what it allows us to do is shape our future webinars just to make sure that they're adding as much value to you and your business as possible. Your CPD certificates, as a reminder, will be issued to you post-webinar as well, so please do look out for those. And if you do have any other questions, please don't hesitate to contact your account manager or sales support, who will be delighted to support you. So that's everything else from me today. Thanks again for watching and enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks, everyone.